JBN, we keep you informed. Taxi driver shot and killed in Mineralites, Clarendon. A man was found with multiple gunshot wounds inside his vehicle along the Mineralites Boulevard in Mineralites near Maypen in Clarendon on the weekend. The deceased has been identified as 39-year-old Omar Crawford, otherwise called Wormhead, of Canaanites near Mineralites. Reports are that on Saturday, August 10, at about 3:40 p.m., residents heard explosions and summoned the Maypen police. On their arrival, the police found Crawford slumped over the steering wheel of his vehicle with what appeared to be gunshot wounds. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. The Maypen police have yet to indicate a likely motive for the killing. 15-year-old boy charged for shooting at cops. A 15-year-old boy was reporting to the police on condition of bail in the Kingston Central Division is to appear in the Children's Court today, Monday, August 12, to answer to new charges, this time for breaches of the Firearms Act. The teen, who the Kingston Central Police say was a suspect in numerous shootings in the division, was charged following an incident on Thursday, August 1 at about 9:35 p.m., in which it is alleged that he fired shots at a police team that was on patrol on Barry Street in downtown Kingston. During the alleged confrontation, the teen was shot and injured and was taken to the hospital for treatment. Reports are that the teenager and another man were walking along Barry Street when police officers attempted to accost them and they ran. They were chased and the teen was caught. He reportedly responded by using a firearm that was later identified as a Taurus 9mm pistol to open gunfire at the police team. He was subsequently charged with shooting with intent, illegal possession of a firearm, and illegal possession of ammunition. The latest charges represent the third time the teen has been charged by the police, a release from the Corporate Communications Unit (CCU) stated. He was charged twice in 2018, first with unlawful wounding and then for being armed with an offensive weapon as well as escaping custody. At the time of the August 1 incident, he was reporting on condition of bail at the Central Police Station, and a curfew order which required him to remain at home between 5 p.m. and 6 a.m. daily had been imposed by the court. The accused teen is in custody at a juvenile remand center pending his court appearance. St. Thomas mechanic gunned down. A St. Thomas man was gunned down at his home in Norris Yallis early this morning. He is identified as 47-year-old mechanic Devon MacDonald. It's reported that about 12:10 this morning, MacDonald was pounced on by unknown assailants who shot him several times as he arrived at his home. He was rushed to the Princess Margaret's Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The police say no motive has been established for the killing. Leftover food from patients causing rat and roach infestation at hospitals. The storage of leftover food by patients at both the Spanish Town and Kingston Public Hospitals is being blamed for an ongoing battle administrators of the institutions are facing as they try to control roach and rat infestation at health facilities. President of the Jamaica Medical Doctors Association, Dr. Elon Thompson, said the plague of roaches at the Kingston Public Hospital, KPH, has created an uncomfortable and unhealthy environment. We have had that issue for a long time. There are wards where you see roaches running around regularly. I know that they have implemented things to counter them, but what is in place to prevent a recurrence of this issue? Have we looked at why we're having roaches running around? He asked during a recent interview. You have phases when it gets worse, then you have a time when it eases up. You don't see any, and then you have another time when they come back. In June of this year, there were reports of a rat infestation at the Spanish Town Hospital. Newly minted chairman of the Southeast Regional Health Authority, Sarah Wentworth Charles, said he was disturbed by these revelations, considering that Sarah has multi-million-dollar contracts with reputable pest control companies. There is no doubt in my mind, as chairman of the board, that these contracts have to be reviewed, because the whole issue of pests overrunning hospitals should never have occurred, he said. But Charles said a major challenge in fighting the problem is the fact that patients often store food in cupboards or in a corner. Some people are storing food in a corner for dog food, I'm told, and that attracts rodents and other vermin in Spanish Town and provides a challenge for vector control personnel, he said. This creates an environment for harboring pests. Strict instructions have now been given that stored dog food is to be removed. He said there has been a massive cleanup at the Spanish Town Hospital over the last 2 weeks. I have given instructions for the contract officers in Sierra to review, in a timely manner, the terms and conditions of the contract for people who provide the porter service, to ensure that the terms are followed, and to report to the board in a quarterly manner what is the state of the hospital, said Charles. We have at our board meeting what we call an infection control report that we receive, and that report gives an indication of what is the state of the hospital. That has to be monitored in a timely manner to ensure that there is no repeat of what I saw in the paper at Spanish Town. In May of this year, a payment of $16 million was made to the contractors at the Spanish Town Hospital, noted Charles, while outlining efforts to curtail the pest infestation at hospitals. Short-term fumigation activities were carried out by a pest control company in June and July of this year at the Kingston Public Hospital. For the long term, a 3-year pest contract will be put in place at the Spanish Town, KPH, and Victoria Jubilee hospitals. This is at the procurement stage and should be in place by October 2019, he disclosed. 70-year-old man, third case of drowning in St. Thomas in recent weeks. A third drowning has occurred at a beach in St. Thomas. This time, an elderly man who was on a church trip to the licensed beach in the Eastern Parish died after experiencing difficulties in the water and is suspected to have drowned. Dead is 70-year-old Norval Leslie Campbell, a plumber of Golden Spring in Stony Hill, St. Andrew. It's reported that about 12:30 yesterday afternoon, Campbell, who was at the beach with his wife and other church members, got into difficulties while he was in the water. Other persons reportedly saw what was happening and assisted him to shore. Campbell was rushed to the Princess Margaret Hospital, where he was medically examined and later pronounced dead. White Horses residents to get jobs. Residents of White Horses and the surrounding environs in St. Thomas will soon benefit from an agricultural project that, according to its conceptualisers, will breed sustainable employment to members of the communities, particularly women. The project, which is being called Hope and Development Through Agriculture, is an initiative of resident and advocate Omar Ryan, in collaboration with the White Horses Botany Bay Pamphret Benevolent Society, and is being financed to the tune of $5 million by the Special Climate Change Adaption Fund through partnership with the Environmental Foundation of Jamaica, EFJ, the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, and the Pilot Program for Climate Change Resilience. There was a call for proposals from the EFJ that I did answer, and to submit all the necessary documentation. The intention is to train members of our community in greenhouse farming. Establish a project as an economic project where an income can be earned for especially mothers and youths, Omar Ryan said. We are one of 3 organizations to get grant funds for our project, which was envisioned by me and spearheaded through the Community's Benevolent Society that is chaired by Mr. Leonard James. The intention is to establish a resilient system of agriculture that has the potential of high yield and able to bring employment to our community, Ryan explained. The project manager said that the plan is expected to get underway at the White Horses Primary School within the next 2 months with the construction of the greenhouse. He said it's an effort involving the school, the Benevolent Society and me. RADA and SDC are on board as partners to help in the realization of the objectives of the project. Our intention is to plant peppers and vegetables for local and international markets, thanks to my friend Dr. Knife, who alerted me to this opportunity last year summer. Explaining the decision to pursue the greenhouse, Ryan said, "It is a system set up to protect against harsh conditions of climate change, including strong winds, extreme sunshine, drought, and rain conditions, which negatively affects agriculture. Greenhouse is more sustainable and offers greater yields of crops during harvest time as well. It can be a great means of livelihood, and agriculture is on the up as everyone has to eat. Therefore, food will always be needed. It is my personal hope that this project will bring sustainable, suitable employment to members of the community, particularly women." Ryan, who admitted that he is not a member of the Benevolent Society, noted that his dedication to community and the parish encourages him to work closely with the organization to see to the completion of said project. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.